I'm Hickey, if you don't know this already. Today I have with me the kindest soul in the world, Intisar.
Hello.
Yes, lovely to have you on. So, let's first talk about how we know each other, because this is quite funny. Me and you get along so well already, and this is the first day I've ever seen you in the flesh.
Yes, first time we've met. We've been following each other on IG for a while now.
So we're Instagram buddies.
Yes. But
So,
Instagram buddies are for life.
exactly,
Yeah.
and we said this the other day.
Yeah,
You're not
we
getting
did.
rid of me now.
No, you're not.
There's no way, you're not getting rid of me.
Gotta be around.
So let me tell you how I even came across Intisar. So it was, this is going to sound nuts, yeah? I had a dream.
Okay.
And don't worry, it's not, I'm just going to be a lot crapper than the other I have a dream speech.
Yeah.
But I had this dream that so Paige is filming as well, she knows. We done a 10-hour bushfire event for the Aussie bushfires.
Yeah.
And it was a charity event. We just went at it, 10 hours, we raised as much as we could. And it was always on my mind. I thought, right, I need to do something like that again. That was such a buzz, and it was such for a good cause. And then what happened? I had this dream, and I woke up, like I'd already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd done it in the manor, which is where I'm working now.
Yeah.
But this was before I was even working at the manor. It was so crazy. And the cause was for the children of Yemen.
Yeah.
Now, me being a dad, that's a massive cause to me. It means a lot, and I want to raise as much as I can. But the dream was so real. Like, I woke up thinking, wow, I've done that. And then for some reason, I had 20 hours in my head.
Okay.
20 hours. And then I spoke to Charlie, the guy who runs the manor.
So 20 hours non-stop of working out.
Well, 40 minutes on, 20 minutes off. I wanted to keep the same sort of routine as we did with the Aussie bushfire. And Charlie and Lauren, the other girl who works at the manor, they talked me into going 24 hours. So we're going to do 24 hours.
Okay.
So I had it in my head. For some reason, I had Yemen, the manor. Like, this was all in my head before I'd even started working there. And then I saw you on Saeed's Instagram. Now, shout out Saeed. He works for BOXR.
Yeah, he's my trainer.
He is
a
trainer. He is an absolute legend, a beast. Him and Rez, shout out Rez as well. And he had shared your post of you doing deadlifts.
Yes. The one time. It was, yeah.
What was it? What did you deadlift?
100. And I didn't know it was 100. I thought it was 80.
That's just something.
I didn't believe him at all. I made him actually count everything.
Yeah.
Count the barbell, the weight, everything. I was like, I don't believe you. And
this
is after I did it.
Because you're a legend.
Yeah,
of course you
I was
can
like,
lift that.
no way. But yeah. Yes, it was off platform, but still. Like that.
But then this is the thing. I saw your post with him like a few days after I had the dream.
Okay.
So I clicked on your Insta, I had a little scroll, seeing what you was about. But then I saw in your bio, you've got the run for Yemen.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, this is a sign, man.
Yeah,
This is
and
nuts.
we only came about in July.
Yeah, I was like, this is insane. Like, I can't believe this. So then I just reached out to you and I said, look, I've got this plan in my head.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I need help. I don't want to raise a bunch of money and give it to like a shitty corporation where I don't know the Yemenis people are going to get it or not.
Yeah.
And you was like, no, the charity we do it with, they're on the ground.
Yes, they are.
And you give me all the information I needed, and I thought, this girl is fucking a legend. She's so cool. And then we just started talking through there, didn't we? We stayed in touch. And
can I just say, I love your IG stories and the question times.
Yeah.
Like, they're hilarious.
Yeah. Some people ask very, very rude questions. So if you don't follow me...
It's just the replies that you give. And I'm like, you're too funny.
If you do follow me, you need to know that you're probably not going to like everything you see. But it's, that's the way I go.
No. It's honesty. It's just as real as it gets.
Yeah. And, we stayed in contact through then, and we know mutual people. You know Dora. Shout out Dora.
Yeah, Nike coach.
Queen of Sass. The Queen of Sass.
And she is also the queen of the positive peer pressure crew.
Yes, so before we even go on, talk to me about that, because every time I see yours, Courtney's, I see Dora's, it's a peer pressure gang or something like that.
Positive peer pressure gang. There's quite a few of us in the crew. So basically, whenever any of us goes out for a run, we make sure we post it, and then we tag the people that are part of the positive peer pressure crews. That being said, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be someone that we haven't seen post a run in the week, or we challenge you. For example, the other day, Dora posted 2 days back to back double digits, hence why I went for a 10K yesterday. I was like, no way, like I've been called out twice. I'm gonna go and drop a 10K, and I did. So that's the whole idea of it. And also it's accountability.
Yeah, of course.
You're being held accountable to...
So do you have to do it? Every time someone tags you, you have to go out and match it or beat it?
Not match it, beat it, but it gives you that... Not necessarily do it, because sometimes you might be injured, or you're not in the mood, or you don't want to go out and run, or the weather could be rubbish. I mean, we had people still going out running, no excuses. But it just gives you that...
For you, isn't it? The weather's just shocking.
Exactly. Shocking. But it just gives you that nudge that you need. And sometimes, like, when you see someone, a colleague, a friend, a mate, a peer doing something good, then you're gonna match it.
I'd be the worst in your group.
No, I think
I'd
you'll
be
go
the
out and
worst because
run.
I'd turn my Instagram off and everything.
No.
You've got to do a 10k. Like, do
Yeah.
you know what it is?
No,
I've got a kid
it
as well. I'd
doesn't
be like,
have
oh,
to
my
be a
kid's not
10k.
feeling
It
well.
doesn't. But it's just that I was positively pressured into running a double-digit run because I haven't done it for a while.
Standard. How'd you get on with the run?
It was good. It was good. It was an easy run. I did it. I wanted to get like 10k in 60 minutes, and I did that.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about, before we go on to any campaigns you do or anything like that, I want you to talk about how much of a fucking G you are training through your condition. Now tell me a little bit, so I know, but tell everyone else about the condition you train through and you boss.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's 11 years now. No, 11 years, I think.
I think it was because on Saeed's post
I did it, So on the 1st of August 2010, I woke up, and it was the first day of Ramadan, and it was summer. It was hot. I woke up with, and I was fasting. I woke up with like numbness in my left hand side, face, arm, shoulders, all the way down to my fingertips, and like some of my leg. So it was only on my left hand side. So I was like, Mom, like I'm not feeling well today. What's going on? She was like, it's the first day of Ramadan. You're fasting. Maybe you're just fatigued, and it's hot. And another thing, I'm okay in the heat. At that time, I thought I was, but it was really hot that day. It was like 25, 26. For me, that's hot now. And then I was like, no, Mom, it's something else. It's something else. I knew it was something else. And then we broke our fast, and then it came time to like pack up the plates and things like that. And I started dropping like cups and cutlery everywhere. And then I thought,
must have been terrified, no?
It was scary because I was like, this is a cup.
When you're not in control of your own body.
Exactly. I couldn't like hold it, and it hardly weighs anything. You know, like think about a plate. Like what is that? Nothing. And I thought, okay.
And
like,
it was, what was it? Still just in the left side?
It was. I was holding it right like this, my right hand side, left hand side. But the left hand was so weak that I couldn't even balance a plate.
Wow,
and it fell. And then the fork fell. And then the cup fell. And I was like, okay, like something's going on. So, anyways, I broke up my fast. I prayed, and then I thought, okay, and let me go get it checked out because and also I'm a biomedical sciences graduate, so I knew internally something was going on.
Sorry, can we just go back to that? You're a
biomedical sciences.
This girl is just coming up with more skills. You're a G. Go
so
on,
I was like,
I
knew internally something was going on in my body. I knew it 100%. I'm like, it's not the fasting. I've been fasting since I was 14.
Yeah.
Like, no, younger than that even, like 8, 9.
So you got yourself in trouble there, innit?
Yeah, I know. I said it 14, but officially, like from a young age, half day. And then going into 4 days in Ramadan. And plus, like fasting in the UK, you're fasting 17, 18 hours.
Yeah.
So that's different. And then I went to the A&E, Northwood Park Hospital, and then I waited for a bit, and then the nurse saw me. What's going on? I told her. She was like, oh, maybe you're tired. I'm like, no, there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Anyways, I saw a doctor. I knew it. Yeah, exactly. And then I saw a doctor, and he thought I was having a stroke. And I was like, not that it doesn't happen in young people, but I was like, really, like, I'm not having a stroke. He goes, well, you exhibit some of the symptoms. I'm like, what? Like, my arms are fine. Like, I can raise them. But I went through it anyways with him because it could have been. I didn't want to, like, use my knowledge against the doctor, obviously. But I was like, no, there's something else. They sent me home. They're like, just sleep, get rest, or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. And then woke up the next day, still the same. I couldn't walk.
Shit.
Yeah, I got up, and I couldn't even, like, do a normal, like, right, left. And then I was stumbling, and I thought, okay, now my walking is getting affected.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, my speech started to get affected. So my speech was very slow. So I went back to the A&E, and they're like, okay, you're not having a stroke. It might be something else. I'm like, so yesterday you said it's a stroke. Today you're saying it's something else. I'm like, I can't even walk. I'm surprised I drove here. Luckily, I drive automatic. But I was like, no, it's something else internally. I can feel it. I know there's something going on. And then back and forth, they sent me back to my GP. And then I kept on going back and back because I was convinced there was something else wrong.
Yeah, of course.
The 6th GP that I saw, who was the head of the clinic, and he's been my GP since I moved to this country, so 13. I was like, there's something going on. And he goes, yes, there is. He goes, neurological, you can't even walk in a straight line. And there's this test they do, it's like a finger to nose test. I couldn't even do it.
Sure.
And then he's like, we need to send you to a neurologist. You need the MRI scan ASAP. Within 2 days, the NHS worked really fast for me. So this was October, I was first symptoms started 1st of August. By like beginning of October, like I was pushing. So by the time I saw my 6th GP, I got my first MRI appointment. I had my MRI appointment, first time ever being in that machine. I'm claustrophobic as well.
Yeah, I had to do one myself. That is a bad experience.
And they're like, do you want some music? No, I don't want music.
I remember they played Justin Bieber in mine. I was like, who's that going to help?
There's nothing calming about that. I just thought, let me just concentrate on my breathing and let this 40-minute go. So it was a full body MRI. Did it 2 days, and then it was my birthday on the 10th of October. And then on the 13th, on the 12th, I got a phone call. See how I remember the dates? Like everything is like ingrained in my head.
Now,
12th of October, I got a phone call from my neurologist, and she was like, you need to come and see me ASAP. So it wasn't the secretary, it wasn't anyone, it was a consultant. I went, I sat down, and she goes, I've got your MRI results. I'm like, what do I have? Straight away. Like, I was like, tell me.
Just wanted to know, I suppose you'd seen all the doctors,
goes,
just had enough, you want to know, and start working on it from there.
You've got lesions on your spine. I was like, how many? And she told me, and she goes, there's one like in between, right, okay, just at the base of your, like at the top of your spinal cord. And she goes, there's some in your brain. And I'm like, okay, what color are they? She told me they're grey, and they look like this. And I'm like, are they mildly? And she was like, yes. I was like, do I have MS? And she was like, okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I knew, like, because I went through the list, I went through the symptoms, I went through everything that was going on. And also, like, leading up to the diagnosis, I was forgetting stuff. Cognitively, I was very slow. Like, I couldn't even, like, put a sentence together.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of something, I want to say it, but I can't say it. So my speech was affected majorly. And then my mum was sitting there right next to me, and she was like, I had to like translate it to my mum. And my mum's from Yemen as well, so I was like, okay, mum, this was wrong, but let me deal with it first.
She was in Yemen at the time?
No, she was with me in Maroon. I just met the mum from Yemen.
Oh, yeah,
so come back to your story.
Yeah, of course.
So my mum's sitting there, she's scared, terrified, because she saw my face drop, and I was like, let me deal with this, and I'll deal with you after.
Because you know what mums are like, they're just going to panic anyway.
She was already panicking.
Yeah, it could be anything. You could just cut your finger, your mum will panic. Yeah.
And she was freaking out. And then the doctor was like, okay, so this is what you have. I'm like, what type of MS? And she told me, so I have limited relapsing MS. And it's a type of MS that you would relapse, so you go through a period of no symptoms, you look and sound normal, speech normal, everything normal, and then you then you go through a period of remission, so no symptoms, nothing.
Yeah.
And then you relapse into, it could be one symptom from all your symptoms, it could be a new one, it could be a mixture of them, all together in one. So for me, my symptoms were the slurred speech, number one, slower cognitive thinking, number two. Sometimes like I have to like think really hard or have like bullet points and notepads when I want to talk about something at work, especially. I can't tolerate heat.
Really?
Yeah, I hate summertime.
Fair enough.
I'm born and raised in a hot country, by the way. I'm born and raised in Abu Dhabi. I'm African, but the thought of like doing summertime is, so all my trips are usually December, January, February. That's when I travel.
At least you're not letting it stop you, though. At least
no, 100%. I just make sure where I'm going, can I handle that weather? So it takes a lot of like planning when I'm traveling on holiday.
So when you go back home,
when I go back to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, I go back this time.
Okay.
But now ain't nobody flying because nobody's
But ain't it always hot over there, no?
No, not really. This is for them. Like now it's like 25, 26, and for me that's fine.
See, that sounds hot to me. My skin can't take
it. Hits
it's paddy
45.
skin, it's Irish skin.
It hits 45 degrees during the summer, and I can't do that.
I think I'll just set a light.
It's horrible. It's
spontaneously
disgusting.
combust.
For me, that's fine. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna have to travel. So I'm gonna have to plan everything around it. Okay. So the speech, the slow thinking, slow answers, and the walking sometimes, and then it left me with the first relapse that I had in August 2010. Left me with a numb left arm, all the way down to my fingertips, and like pins and needles, and I live with it forever. Like I've still got it till now.
Really?
Yeah. So my left hand side is definitely weaker than my right, and then I could literally hold something hot and burn myself. I've burned myself so many times. But I'm like, oh my god, that's hot. Like I know it's hot, but I can't feel that it's hot. So there's that.
It's just a lot of adapting to go with it. Right? Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, and then there was a shock of like my parents, like, nope, you're our firstborn, you can't be sick. They were in denial. They flew me out to Frankfurt, Germany to go see all these private doctors. They're like, no, we're flying out, we're going. So my dad lives in Abu Dhabi. He's a petroleum engineer, now retired. And he was like, right, tickets are booked. You and your mum are flying out tomorrow. I was like, okay, like let me process what happened.
Of course.
But no, I took all my NHS documents, results, MRIs, went to Germany, Frankfurt, where you can just knock on a door and any doctor and be seen straight away. No appointments, no nothing. I was seen by like all these neurologists and they agreed I had MS. And then again, telling my parents that, breaking it down to my mum. And for them, it's kind of like, because I'm their firstborn, so they were like, we're just going to have to like protect you from everything now. I'm like, no, like let me live, let me breathe. But so I was meant to be starting my master's that year. I've deferred it. So I got into Brunel to do masters in public health. But just the thought of like going into full-time education again was just too much.
Yeah.
So I took a gap year. I was working part-time in retail. It was fine. Just coming into terms with living with MS. And it was tough. And then I started studying. And because of studying and the stresses of studying and writing a dissertation, I would relapse. So I would get better. And then I was stressed because of assignment and dissertations and work and presentations. And I relapse again. So lots of my work for uni was I had to do mitigating circumstances and get doctors to like fill out documents for me.
Yeah.
I would still hand in all my work on time. I would get my 1s and 2-1s, and I handed in my dissertation on time. Everything was always on time, but it's like I had to have extra support.
Yeah.
From so I had longer time in exams. I didn't have longer period to submit my work. It's just that the lecturers were considerate of my condition, but that didn't judge, like they didn't.
No, of course,
use
that's
that.
not,
because my work was still my
come
work.
down to marking you. That doesn't come
exactly.
into play.
They were so fair, but I managed to graduate, and then so that was that. And then I thought, okay, cool. What am I going to do next? I really wanted to work in public health for the NHS, and I kind of started from the bottom up in the NHS. You have to, and sometimes it can be who you know, and but sometimes it could be just luck. So I managed to get my foot in. Started working in Hertfordshire, West Herts Hospitals NHS Trust, and then from there, kind of like I had good managers, and they watched me blossom, and they put me on all these courses, and I did another master's while I was working full time, and and I was like, okay, cool, I can do all of these things, but now what? What can I do when I'm at home, when I come back from work? What can help, like, kind of, because I'm still living with MS.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like, what can I do? What else to make it easy? And in school, I was always athletic. I was always in the track team, and then cross country, netball, rounders, all those things. So I thought I was walking and thinking, and then I thought, let me just turn this into like back in the day how I used to warm up, start running, and then you kind of like it's like muscle memory. You just pick up again and you go.
So before we go on to like the run for Yemen, was you advised to weight train to MS, or did you just went off your own back?
The doctor at the time told me you need to go on disease modifying drugs ASAP, and luckily I had a nurse that was so like, because I'm not on any meds. I said nope, I'm just gonna live a healthy lifestyle. I became vegan. I started running, and I brought something back into my life that I love.
Yeah.
And I kind of left behind because of A-levels and uni stress. But I'm like, how am I going to combat all of that?
Probably be surprised by countering that stress. That's probably made you...
It has. It kind of like gave me this buffer. And it helped me with the family stress as well. Because from my dad's side of the family, I'm the firstborn. I'm the first granddaughter. I had my grandparents, had my aunties, uncles, everybody just being super worried. Till this day, they are. Like, if I don't answer the phone, are you dead? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm just working, So it gave me that time to get away from the family and kind of like process this disease that I have to live with for life. And then I started running again, and I thought, okay, cool, I can do this thing. And then I started signing up for races. I entered London Marathon 2016 through a ballot, and I got it.
Come on, that. See what I'm still...
Hardly any runners, like,
Scale
it's so
needs a tick
hard.
next to every box, fucking legend.
It's so hard to get into London, and I got it, and I thought, right, I'm going to have to start training for this. And part of long distance training is strength training. Like, you have to be strong to run, not just run fast, but also to prevent injury. I started doing my own little thing here and there. Anyways, running became like a thing. I started doing all these races, and strength training came into my life after I've done like quite a few marathons, after I've done all these things. I was looking at my times, and I was like, okay, I need to improve my pace, my splits, all of this. How am I going to do that? I need to lift. Okay, so I signed up to this gym that I've been following on Instagram, Boxer. So I was like, okay, cool, this looks nice. I could do a class with like 20 other people, because the instructor won't just look at me and say, you're doing something wrong. But if I'm in a class, then it's going to be kind of like diluted. And that's where I met my trainer. So I've been training there, going to the classes, and then I got the ballot for Chicago Marathon as well. And in that same year, I ran London again.
Cool, man.
And then, by now I've done like 4 marathons, and then there was Berlin in there as well. So I'm like, okay, cool. I need to get Chicago, and I need to do a good time. And Chicago's quite flat, and it's made for PBs. I was like, cool. And then as I was training at Boxer, Saeed comes up to me and says, who's my trainer now, Intisar, like, you've been running, you've been attending this place, let me train you for Chicago. And I thought, okay, cool, this is where the strength and conditioning comes into it. And my first PT session, I was shocked. I was like, what was that? Because you go to classes and they're fun and the music is booming, but when you do strength and conditioning in a room, which is you and your trainer,
there's no escape.
No escape. And I've got this habit of missing my rep counts. Till this day today, he stands there and is like, you owe me 3 more. Like, you stopped at 22. I'm like,
I like that he does that, though, because a soft trainer will let you get away.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Like, what was that? Or if you do shit form, a good trainer should be like, mate, what was that?
Exactly, that was rubbish. Do it again. It's
exactly.
Like, the thing is, like, I think I'm good with keeping count in my reps. But when you're doing like 25 burpees, like, you're going to miss 2, 3, 4, whatever. So it's like, no, you owe me 3. I'm like, okay, cool, here we go. But so I started training with him, and then so we train like once a week, sometimes twice a week. But it's like, I take my training with me home. So I incorporate that at home. So I use it now as prehab for my run. So I'll do like a bit of strength and conditioning training before I go on a run. and then I use it after my run as well. I'm not big on stretching after a run. I rather like.
I'm just not big on stretching.
I know, but for running, like there's so much research coming out now about like skipping stretching altogether, and you're better off doing.
I'm going to get into running.
Better off doing 10 minutes of a stretch of a strength and conditioning session. So I usually like considering ankles, hips, hip flexors, number one. My ankles as well, because I'm just recovering from my ankle injury. So I was like, okay, how can I just maintain this and prevent injury at all times? So now, like, it's become part of life where the running bit and the strength and conditioning bit go hand in hand. There's no one without the other. You can't be a good, fast runner without the strength and conditioning. You also want to prevent injuries. And I'm getting older, so I'm like, I don't want to like go out on a run and sprain my ankle and my ankle's broken, and that's going to knock me out for 12 months. So they go hand in hand.
Amazing. Honestly, that's so good.
That's me so far. But I still sign up to races.
So far, so good. That's a story.
So far, it's been brilliant. Running has opened so many things for me. Yeah,
talk to me about Run for Yemen. So that's what caught my eye. Well, you caught my eye doing deadlifts, and then I saw that.
It's on the tag. So last year, July, and it's still going on until now. The Yemen crisis. It's been quite sad. I feel like the whole world.
No, it is sad because a lot of the world don't even know.
No, the whole world forgot Yemen. It's a small, beautiful country in the Middle East. My mum comes from there, and I've got ancestry and I've got family back home. And it's like, what can we do to help my people? But it's not just my people, it's our people, because we're children of the world. That's how I see it anyways.
Yeah, of course.
So Mohammed, he kind of became our captain for Run for Yemen. And I've met him through another run club that we did. And he messaged everybody and he said, guys, like, we need to do something for Yemen. They're going through so much. They're going through crisis. People don't even have clothes, food. Like, it was the videos being shared on Instagram as well of, like, these almost skeleton-like human beings, but still talking and breathing and living. And I'm like, how am I living in this luxury and my people are not? So he was like, let's do this. Let's create a run group and we're going to run the distance of London to Yemen, which is like just over 3,000 kilometers or something along those lines, or miles. And then everybody pledged an amount. And the amount of kilometers you pledged is the amount you paid for your charity, like you put in. So if you pledged 100, I mean, it wasn't necessarily, but people did it.
Yeah, of course.
People did it even more.
Did you have like a big backing with it as well? Like, did a lot of people jump in?
A lot of people jumped in, and Mo, he worked at Barclays at the time. I think they supported as well because of like a big community fundraising scheme they were doing. So it was like for like.
Okay.
And then as we were planning the runners bit, the cyclists were like, well, we want to do something for cyclists where. So it became a Run for Yemen, Cycle for Yemen group, 2 in 1. So we had 20 runners and I think 10 cyclists. And between the two groups, we did the kilometers clocked were to Yemen and back from Yemen again. And then the money that was raised, we raised just over like, I think it was about £7,000 that we raised at the end of it.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and within a month. We did it in July. 1st of July to the 31st of July.
We should do a collab. We should get Run for Yemen in when we do the 24-hour
event. That'd be brilliant, honestly. The crew, they're fantastic. Most of them are London-based. I think they'll be up for it. I'm just hoping that as things ease through the pandemic.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to wait a couple of months to do it. But if we put it out there, build it up. I don't care if we have to do it on the street. We'll get it done.
That'd be brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. And that was another accountability crew thing that we were doing where we go out and run, but it's like, I'm not just doing it for me and you, I'm doing it for people back home, I'm doing it to raise money, I'm doing it. And then I had all these other people like share the posts, and then the word spread out, and before you know it, like we had like other run crews from the world like post about us, share about us. So internationally people were really invested in Run for Yemen. And I think it's going to be something that we do annually anyways.
Good.
Yeah, and the weather was nice. Yeah, 100%. The weather was amazing. So everybody wanted to go out. July was amazing. Everybody wanted to go out and run.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kept us going. And I think I pledged, I said I'm going to do 100 miles, so 160 kilometers. I think I just hit like 175. I think. Nice. Some of the girls did 200. Jeez. Yeah, I know. One of the boys, like the captain of the group, Mo, he did 300 kilometers. And then there was another guy as well, Naeem. He did about 300 kilometers as well. They were amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And you saw that money being matched. The amount that you clocked, that money was matched because your name is, unless like you donate anonymously, your name is there. So you saw it, and I'm like, you guys are amazing. You put your money, you put where your money is, and you just did it.
Love that.
So yeah, it was great.
Good. So that carries on. That's still going to this day.
I hope so too. I mean, I think you can still fundraise, but we want to do it again this year as well.
Yeah, well, let me know. I'll be involved. I'll definitely get involved in that.
Definitely, that'd be great. So
right, let's talk about I saw recently you shared a Nike campaign.
Yes.
But you've been doing some Nike bits for a little while, no?
Yes, I have.
Talk to me how you even got into Nike, the campaigns you've done with them. I want to hear it all.
Okay, cool. So Nike kind of, So I use the Nike Run app a lot I use it only for training and logging my kilometers. And then through Nike in the Run app, they have this, and any Nike app, they have this thing where members access, and then sometimes members that have been part of the Nike apps for a while get perks here and there. And then they'll do host like events and things like that, come and share your feedback. And then I kind of got involved with 2 events that happened end of 2019. End of 2019, yes. I was invited. So one of them was modest wear for Muslim women. Well, women, full stop.
Yeah.
And then, so that was one. And then I did one for a yoga one. And I was just qualified as a yoga instructor then. And then, obviously, the modest wear I was really invested in because, you know, I tried Muslim women, cover head to bottom.
Yeah.
But at the same time, modest wear is for everybody. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be religious to be modest. So I did those 2 sessions. And
I like that.
They're great. I mean, yeah.
I like it.
For everyone,
nice.
you know?
Yeah, of course, I like it.
And then I did those 2 sessions, and from there, I don't know, maybe because like they had my details and names, so that was on the side. So, and then Azima magazine, who is run by an all-female, all-women group, like all-women team, absolutely brilliant photography, editorial, everything, posted something on their IG saying they're looking for athletic women around London to share their stories, and it's going to be in campaign with Nike. And then I was like, all right, cool. I didn't see it. My friend saw it, and she shared the post. And this is the power of Instagram. When you see something and you think it's going to be great for someone, one of your loved ones, you share it.
Yeah, so I put a thing up on my story yesterday, right? About if you've got to hook your friends up, why would you not? If you think they fit the part.
She thought I did, and she believed in me. Her name is Viviana Gomez. I love her to bits. We met in Abercrombie & Fitch when I used to work there.
Love that.
And then she sent it to me, and I was like, all right, cool, let me just reply back. And I did. I went to the girls, Jamila, who was the photographer of the campaign, her account, and I sent her a message. I was like, I'm a runner, I live in London, I'm interested in your campaign, what do you think? And then they emailed me back, and I always forget I have my email connected to my IG.
Yeah.
And it was sitting in my spam box for 10 days.
Lucky they replied.
Oh my God. But the thing is, they could have chased me because obviously Instagram and things like that.
Yeah,
but I was going through my junk box. It must have been like Christmas period. And it was the last day of work, so I logged out of work. And then I was like, oh my God, they replied back and they want me. So I DM'd them back. I'm like, listen, I just saw your email. I'm going to reply back right now. And I replied back. And that was the 25th of December. And they're like, it's a quick turnaround. Come through to Crystal Palace Athletic Centre on the 10th and tell us your shoe size, everything size for Nike. So hijab, clothes, everything. So I did. I sent that. And then I went there on the 10th. And it was all very fast, all very like, obviously when you have a big campaign coming up, you don't want to talk about it. And they don't want you to, you know, it's all not a secret, but they're waiting for the big release. Exactly, yeah. So I went, and there was a diver there, and there was a footballer, and myself, a runner. And I was there from 12, I think it's about 9, 10, but it was the best day ever. Like the shoot, the campaign,
it must have been mad because you wear it, your friends wear it, it's such a big brand.
And then I got it,
like,
and then they want me, and I was like, you want me? But it was great. Wicked. I mean, the whole team was multi-ethnic, women, strong. It was from the photographer to everything. It was just fantastic to be there. And then they did a release in Nike Town, and we were invited, where they premiered the film, they premiered the wear, and it was the release of the Nike swimwear for Muslim women, for modest women, full stop. And that was, and on that day, it was the 2nd anniversary for the World Hijab Day. So they did everything so well, so aligned together, and that's where I met all the other girls from the team. The Azima team, absolutely brilliant. I met the team that was behind the Nike campaign as well. Again, all female. And then they released it, and then I thought, wow, this just happened. And then it went on their Instagram page. It went on Instagram London. Nike London. I posted that. And then from there, it kind of became like a relationship with Nike. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I like it.
Even just saying that must be
weird, it's nice because like, I can say I've done things for Nike, and from then, like, so many doors have opened in 2020.
You deserve it. If anyone deserves it, you deserve
it. Thank you so much. But it's like, when people know your name and you do something, and they get back to you to say, we saw your work from that campaign, we want you to work with us. For me, that means the world.
Of course.
Like, when they get back to you to say, you did that, but I want you for this. And the thing is that because, like, I work in mental health services, I do the yoga thing as well. It's like, there's more than one version of Intisar.
Yeah.
but I can be one version for you for that one thing, but I could do another thing as
Adaptable,
well.
that's why
Yeah,
versatile. I love it.
You have to. And you learn how to work with people. You learn how to work with people that you haven't met before. Yeah, doors were opened, projects were done during lockdown, and I can't wait for the work.
Good. Right.
Yeah.
Now, I always, on Real As It Gets, ask the nitty-gritty questions
Go for it.
that a lot of people don't like to talk about, because that's how social media is. They brush it under the... And this is not in regards to Nike at all, because I know Nike's an amazing brand, and you wouldn't be with them if they wasn't.
Yeah.
Forget them. On your journey in fitness, have you ever come across any racism, discrimination, sexism, any of the kind?
All of that. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so the running community is absolutely brilliant, and they don't stand when people get harassed, bullied. We kind of stick up for ourselves.
Yeah, Dora's post the other day was good.
Yeah, it's you have to though. It's like already there's not enough of us running because it's like it's not a sport for running. People are getting killed in America for being a black runner running in a white neighborhood. I live in a white neighborhood, for goodness sake. Like, am I going to get shot?
Call me.
Yeah.
I'll punch them
100%.
up. I don't care.
You know where I live now. So
I'm not with anyone. I'm not with a company. I can't beat them up.
It's like, well, why is it a problem how I look? Running is not a sport for just you. But then again, when Samuel Farah is winning medals, everybody's clapping for him. But if it's another runner, you've got a problem for. But if I'm running for GB and I'm black and I get a gold medal, then I'm a hero. But on other cases, I'm not. Yeah, it's like they only care about your position. Yeah. That's just wrong. And you see it in so much in sport as well. You see it in football, you see it everywhere. So yeah, I've had a couple of incidences, people just making assumptions. Oh, you run, but you're Muslim. Yeah, and what does that even mean? What does that even mean? They had the audacity to actually say, but, Muslim women, you wear a headscarf, and so like, what are you getting at? People are backwards, aren't they? They're like proper backwards. I will never forget this incident that happened. Tell me. The start line of Chicago Marathon, which is also a Nike-sponsored race. So with Chicago, they were absolutely brilliant. They put me under the Athletes with Disability program. So I ran with that because it just gives you the comfort of not having to worry about so many things, because marathon conventions can be a zoo sometimes, and I get easily overwhelmed with my MS, where sometimes I forget where things are. So you need the guidance of someone to help you. And just, especially amongst all that, you don't want to sort of like lose your bearings. Exactly, and that can happen. So they were there supporting me from the get-go. So at the convention race, they were there for me to pick up my bibs, everything, t-shirts, everything. And then at the end of the race, they had this huge banner that said athletes. At the beginning of the race, they put me in one of the... So I was the wave after Selma Farah, so I could see. I was like, okay, cool. Amazing. So the elites out there, and I'm here. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there. It's so cold.
I would have been milking that. I'd have been like, yeah, I'm basically elite. I'm about 4 steps.
No, I was milking it completely other way. So there was like, everybody's cold and like huddling up together. I had this man come up to me, and he patted me on the head. Like, he's patting me on the head. And I'm like, why are you tapping me on the head? So I was kind of like,
why is anyone touching anyone?
I'm like, what? You're touching me without consent. I looked at him and I was like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And then I was a bit loud. I had my headset, so I didn't realize how loud I was. I was just trying to get into the zone. I'm starting to run like a 42.2 race. Like, I don't need this. But I said, what are you doing? So I was loud, and then I realized, okay, I've got my headset. And then everybody just kind of like turned around because they had this British accent. So everybody was like, shh. I'm like, what are you doing, sir? And he goes, oh no, you're wearing a headscarf. You're wearing that. It looks really nice, that part of your costume. I'm like, it's not a costume, it's a headscarf. And I'm Muslim, and you're not meant to touch a Muslim woman.
I'm not being funny. It's not like like the Muslim community, some small community.
I know.
You know what you're doing. You're obviously just trying to provoke and be an asshole about it. Yeah,
exactly. He had this smirk on his face that I wish I could just like...
Yeah. See, but this is what you got me for now.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? So I stood there and I'm like, don't touch me. Furthermore, do not touch any woman, full stop, without consent. Do not touch someone. And I'm like, so my voice is getting higher and higher, louder and louder. And there's this like group of like black runners, black guys. And they looked at me and they just came over and they're like, sis, you're right. Yes, I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. This guy's touching my head.
Shit himself.
He was like, oh, no, I don't want anything by it, sir. Exactly. And they were like, no, just don't touch a woman. Furthermore, don't touch a black woman. Full stop. Like, full stop. Just go away. And I had them around me for like good 15 minutes before our race started. And I was like, I feel like I'm at home. Good. Because I had people that looked like me, sounded like me. Wherever I go. But
backwards about this world.
That's the thing. I should feel like that anywhere that I go. We're all children of the world. But having a group of like black human beings around me, that felt home.
Nice.
No matter where I was.
And was he part? So was he passed by, or was he doing the marathon?
No, he was running the marathon. He was a runner as well. I'm like, for goodness sake, I'm wearing a Nike hijab. We're on brand. Like, everybody knows the swoosh, and everybody knows, like, now they cater. Since 2017, hijab is out, and Under Armour does it now, Adidas does it now. Why is it so new to you? There's female athletes, Muslim hijabi athletes everywhere in the world.
It's not new. They're provoking.
He did it on purpose.
I had this same conversation with a couple of my mates on this podcast a few episodes back, and we was talking about the N-word used in songs.
Yeah.
And you get these idiots that go, "Oh, but if black guys can say it, why can't I?" And it's like, no,
it doesn't matter.
It's not for you to say. You're saying it purely to provoke. You know not to say it.
But I think now lots of black people don't use it as well,
which is good.
The history that comes with.
Exactly.
Like,
so wipe the word out. It's not a good word. It's not.
Yes, it's part of that history, but it's a very painful history as well.
Exactly.
So keep that in mind when you're using it and splitting out.
Totally agree.
So that 15 minutes of having like this black group around me, and I thought, I feel like I'm at home. And the old runners and the runners community is absolutely, the nice ones are nice. But we started talking, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from London." And they're like, "Who do you want to win?" I'm like, I'm going to be super biased, but Sir Mo Farah, because he's British, because he's in London, because he's from Somaliland, like, we're from the same everywhere in the world. And then he didn't win, he came fifth, I think. But anyways, I was there when he was there, you know? But it was that 15 minutes that I felt like, okay, like, I belong.
How did you get on in the marathon itself?
It was, Chicago was so cold. It took me 2 hours to warm up.
Oh, really?
The aim was to, like, just hit under 5, and I did. And it was like, I had fun, but I couldn't wait for it to finish. It's
on the bucket list. Like, I don't know how long it'll take me to do a marathon. I'll just crawl across it. I don't know.
No, I think you will be able to do it. Definitely start with London. I think being introduced to marathon running through London it opened this, like, London is home. London crowd is second to none.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, even for like 10K races, I'm like, you guys are amazing. You turn up for a 10K race and you're giving out all these sweets and candies, but London marathon crowd, the best. Berlin was nice.
Was it? But
I'm going to be very diplomatic. But the energy of London is not matched. I mean, Berlin is flat. I mean, it's a race to get PBs. No. Berlin was really nice. No. Okay. Absolutely love being Berlin. Beautiful city, beautiful people, food and everything. But the race itself, it missed that London energy.
Yeah.
And it was only matched when I went to Chicago.
Okay.
And apparently New York beats all of them, and I can't wait to
I remember I was in New York just with my family at the time, and the marathon was going on. This was a good few years back, and it did look like a vibe. But does part of it go through Central Park, right?
It does, everything. I think there's a part of it that goes over Manhattan Bridge, and that's right at the beginning, because you get a ferry to Staten Island, and that's where the marathon starts. And everybody always says, make sure you have warm clothes.
Yeah,
because you'll be able to throw all the old stuff away, and that's the bit there. There's no spectators, nothing. It's just you, the runner, and the bridge, and that's it. But just running through the 5 boroughs of New York is meant to be a party. Each borough is meant to give a different energy. And every one of that I know that run New York, and they say it's the best one. As a Londoner, for them to say that, that's a big thing. And I can't wait to like experience that and compare it to like...
When is that looking?
So I got a ballot entry. I was lucky. I entered the ballot and I got it. I was meant to be running it last year, November 1st. But obviously because of the COVID pandemic, everything has been deferred. So I'm hopeful for this year. They gave me a future marathon entry, but it could be this year, next year, or the year after. I'd rather do it this year.
When is it? Is it the same time every year?
Yeah, marathons are always the same time every year. So usually, but London this year, I think it's in October.
When's New York?
New York is going to be November.
I need an excuse to get over. I'll come and watch.
New York is amazing. It's meant to be amazing.
I've been twice. It's
I can't wait. And the thing is, I'm using my marathon races, international races, as holidays now.
Yeah.
So I plan my holidays. Like when I was in Chicago, I planned like my whole holiday. I went to Chicago.
What would you do a few days before just to get used to it?
So and it was my birthday as well. So it was my birthday weekend, Chicago weekend. Had another 5K race. Half of the runners that I know from London were there, so I had friends out there as well. But I had new people in Chicago anyways. And then so I was there a few days before, and I stayed a few days after for all the tourist bit and to eat the food as well.
Oh my God! When I went to New York the second time, I think I was there for like 7 or 8 days. I got a stone. But I'm a gannet. I'll eat.
So the thing is, after a marathon, you want to eat. I was eating everything. I was like, you know what? I just ran, for goodness sake, from 2.2. There's no excuses. I'm going to eat everything. But Chicago is great. People are nice. Again, I was a bit flying out. I was like, I'm going to Chicago, and this is through the Trump administration. I don't know how it felt as a Muslim woman, hijabi woman, because I'm visibly Muslim. But you get there, and you speak with your British accent. Everybody's nice.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? When I was in New York, they love a British accent. They love it.
And I'm like, I love you. They're like, no, girl, we love you. I'm like, everybody was nice, from Uber drivers, and I was catching an Uber everywhere. Who did I think I was? Like, it was so cheap.
Just flashy.
They're like,
I'll get the Uber.
Why are you getting Uber? I'm like, it's so cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. I think the cheapest was South Africa when I went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, America is very, very cheap for Uber.
Yeah, but then again, I thought, how am I going to know the city if I don't get the tube? And I did. I got their travel cards are super cheap as well. And then I was in and out, and I thought, okay, this is great. This is really nice.
Right, and now, so you've built yourself up in the fitness world.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever gone through any problems, discrimination, anything recently? Let it out.
I mean, it happens at work sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who?
NHS. I mean, I love what I do, and there's been so many reports, and you see it with the COVID pandemic and how people from Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities have been the most affected.
Yeah.
Death rates are quite high. Black women tend to suffer in the birthing room more than their white and Asian counterparts. Why is that? There is systemic racism in the NHS. I have experienced it working in different trusts around London. It does happen. You see it, and you want to, like, now I'm at the point where when I see racism, I'm like, you're being racist, yo. Like, you can't say that.
Call them out.
And we do it at work. I work in mental health services, and there's all these, like, I'm part of the race equality committee, so I'm helping my directors kind of, like, make sure, like, things don't happen in the NHS that happened before, and they were swept underneath the carpet. No more. And then, because there's a tendency when you work in mental health services, but they're not well. But that doesn't mean that someone can say what they want to say to you.
Way.
And it has happened to me, and I thought, I'm going to take it on the chin. And the counter transfer of it, like, this person hurling abuse at you, but in your head you're thinking, you're not well, you're not well, you're not well, you're not well, so it's going to be okay. But no, I went home and I thought, no, I shouldn't be like this. Someone shouldn't tell me go back to where you came from. I'm like, I come from Harrow, do you want to come with me? Like, what's the big deal? And I remember every time a racist incident happened, and I'll tell my dad, I'm like, this is what's happening. He goes, why are you still working for the NHS? Like, they don't value you. But I'm like, I love what I do. I love the ethos of the NHS. There's nothing like it in the world. And yes, like, it has its flaws, but for goodness sake, look how well they're doing. Like, I mean... Yeah, it's that's a tough one for me, because I'm kind of biased with your dad. Yeah.
Like, if they don't value you, I just think you fuckers. You've got someone good working with you, and you treat them like that.
But the thing is, like, I've flipped it, though. I've joined... when I was working at West Hearts, and I've had some horrible incidents happen. I've even had someone, like, draw a swastika sign on the toilet.
What's wrong with people?
Yeah. I completely forgot about that. And draw a swastika sign on my name board on my door. They were like, Trump is the way, KKK is the way, like, and they would scrub on my name. Like, every other week, the IT team will make me a board, and they put it up on my door, and then there'll be, like, scribbles all around there, and I'm like, it's not even patients, because where I work, patients can't get in. I'm like, this is a member of staff doing this. So I've had those incidents, but I still went back to work.
But through that, I got to respect your passion. I respect your passion of just sort of working through that, even though that's fucking horrible.
It is horrible
to go through that, but you're just like, you know what, this is what I love.
I could have taken
try and block out these arseholes.
Yeah, I could have easily went to my GP.
It's because your passion.
And just like, sign me off from work. I remember, like, I think the last incident when it happened, and I had a brilliant manager where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go home. And she goes, you know what, I don't even come back to work. Like, take the week off. And I did. And it's like, you take this back home, and I'll tell my parents, and they're like, how is it you're dealing with all of this, but you're still going back? But I don't know. I still work with it. I absolutely love it. I love what I do.
You should never have to go through that. Anyone should.
Nobody should. No matter how old you are, age, skin, colour, nothing. Yeah.
And you're still sticking to your mission, your goal, your life's purpose.
Yeah, I love the NHS. It's been there for me, and it's been there for others. Yeah. And I really, truly believe in what they do. I mean,
you're amazing.
Thank you.
I've got a couple minutes left, and I like to finish every episode with...
Go for it.
What is your definition of happiness?
You know what, it might be an easy question, but it's super tough.
Oh, no, it's tough. It's tough, because you got to think... I've just asked you on the spot.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. You'll probably get home, and you'll be like, I should have said that.
My true definition of happiness is seeing people around me happy.
That's good. And that just flew off the tongue. I like that.
I love seeing... I mean, my dad just retired, and he is so happy, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
My mum, she lives here, and then she moves back to Dubai, so she does this 6 months here, 6 months there, lady of leisure.
Love
and
it.
They're planning to retire soon.
But they've earned it.
Yeah, they have.
Of course. I have no doubt that they've probably worked their arse off over the years.
Yeah, they have, and it's like, it's now
enjoy
your time.
It. Go back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. They're going on holiday this month. I'm like, it's a pandemic, and you guys are flying around.
Standard.
But, it's brilliant. Why not? And it's like, I love seeing my sisters happy. I have 2 sisters, 2 brothers. I love seeing my niece and nephew happy. I love seeing everybody around me happy.
Amazing. I like that.
And running makes people happy, so I need to see you run.
Oh my god, no. It will make you happy because you'll be laughing. You'll be like, honestly, Jesus Christ, the state of his form.
Honestly, there's this high associated with running. It's not just like runners say hi to each other, so they wave at you, but there's the runner's high as well.
I don't know. On Paddington Rec track where I train, The runners on that track are miserable.
They're-
They'll run, and if you're in there late, move.
Yeah, move. Yeah, I know, but that track work is different. But if you're running out on the pavement and you see an everyday runner, those are the runners that I love. You do you.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Right. So anyone that's listened to this episode, and you are lacking motivation, listen to this lovely episode story.
Go get
it. What did I just say? Listen to this lovely episode story. Listen to this lovely lady's story.
Thank
if
you
you
so much.
ever lack motivation, she's boss in MS. She works for the NHS. She runs marathons. She weight trains with a very tough trainer.
Yes.
No excuses.
No, none.
Honestly, you're fucking amazing, and it was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me on board.
No, it was my pleasure. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.